Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I am your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of Starfleet Command. We have Vice Admiral Eric C., who braved the gallows and lived to tell the tale. Commander Hawk is also here, ready to tell the story of Ensign. And finally, Captain G. Raff is here, who texted me earlier this week in all caps how much she loved this episode. Welcome back, Live Logs and Prop. I almost said it wrong. Live Logs and Proper. That one. I can't do it. It hurts my fingers. It hurts. Ow.
I used to pretend I was a Ninja Turtle when I was younger with the three
fingers.
the
claw?
Yeah,
right?
So I used to do both of them. Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
How we doing, guys? How goes it?
You know.
It's cold.
It goes, huh? It goes well. Not so well. Kind of well.
It goes.
You feeling better?
It's very cold. It's very cold.
Yeah, it's starting to get. Apparently, we're getting snow on Sunday. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah.
Apparently, the cabins around here, like up in the Poconos, are going to get some snow. So. No snow, no snow.
It's nice out right now, but yeah.
It's not bad. No jacket today, which was nice.
Yeah.
70 degrees here.
Summer too, or fall too, as they say.
Summer 2. Yeah, summer 2 in Pennsylvania. Yep. This week, it is our first Prodigy live show of the back half of season 1, kind of unintentionally, but that's how things worked out. As we review episode 113, All the World's a Stage. What happens when Dahl and the team come across a planet home to people who closely resemble Starfleet? What is the reason behind their people returning to the colony, sometimes sick or just not showing back up at all? And then what the heck is happening to Murf? We want to know what's happening in the Murf. So many questions. We have to read them logs. That's what we're going to do. We're going to break this all down. But first, Giraffe, I think you have the outline open. We need to thank our collective members at the Ready Room level and above.
I want to say something. I want to ask. Eric was not here to do his reading of the.
He was not. Nope. But I just keep going in the order of things. So
That's not fair.
No, it's still your turn. He'll be next week.
Okay. So, thank you, dear patrons. By the way, Patrons Happy Hour next week on Wednesday.
Happy Hour Riding Club.
9 p.m.
Happy Bottom.
Eastern.
Happy Bottom Riding Club.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And they're going to be some games too. So, come join us. Come have fun. Thank you. Simon Stager, Chef Rive, Mariah Gossette, Talula, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noé Santo, Kungui, Takako Nagumo, Cara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, yes, oh, it's the same thing in French.
That's the one.
Laura Linderman, Colin Davinson, Aline Davis, Chatterhand, Ben 49, Jesco, MC Frodis, Michael Graham, Emily et Travis, Gildara, Cassie, Raoul, Summerichi, We Don't Want Any Witnesses, Maggie Light, Trekking the Star, Wayne Reed, Skonavart, Sean, J. Howard, Anna Yurdadon, Maelani Uchiyama, Matt Harker et Joshua Lewis.
Hey!
Julian.
Yeah, hey, what?
Do you have the music from Up? Because you should play that while Giraffe does it that way.
I'm going to. I'll put it in post. I will totally put it in post. That was awesome. I loved that. News. Giraffe already mentioned it, but the happy hour has been decided next Wednesday. What, 9:30 or 9?
9.
9.
I
9
mean,
p.m.
we can do 9:30, but I
whatever.
said
9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. It's gonna be 6 p.m. for me, so whatever.
Yeah. Early drinker for the giraffe.
Yeah.
The other bit of news real quick is we know that things are shady over on the Bluebird app, Twitter, with Elon being Elon, doing his Elon Musk thing. So we know that people are leaving or kind of figuring out where things are gonna, be after the dust settles. And we're trying out some new options as they come out. So if you haven't read it yet, on our Discord, Giraffe, you set up our account on Mastodon.
Yeah, I did. I figured everything out. It took me a while, but now we're there. I'm there too. So
I'm there too.
Come.
And I'm there too.
Yeah, be careful because Mastodon work in a weird way that on your feed, I don't think you see people you follow, but people who follow you. So if you follow us and don't see us, let me know. I don't
You
know.
don't see people you follow?
Yeah, that's what I think I understood.
That's weird. I see people I follow.
Yeah.
Like I see Jess.
Yeah, because I follow back people, so I don't know.
You don't follow me.
So, I don't follow you. It's true. But
I didn't even know it was on there until 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
I've been on for a while.
There.
Have you?
Yeah. Come say hi.
I literally just joined today, so I'm getting used to it.
Are you guys both
weird.
on 10 forward? I'm
10
not.
forward.
I'm not on 10 forward.
I'll shoot you the link to the invite because I think it's invite only.
If you want to join on 10 forward social.
No, I'm on one that I like.
Oh, you are on one that you like. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, never mind. You don't need to be with the Trek folks.
I'm on a tabletop. I'm on a RPG one.
Nice.
Dice. It's all about dice.
That's where you belong.
And if you need advices on how to use Mastodon, don't ask me.
No one knows.
Don't ask me.
No one knows.
I've been on it for like a week and I still don't understand it.
Yeah,
I was
same.
telling this to Hawk. I was like, I think I'm doing this right. I don't know.
I think I kind of understood how it works once I found an app that works for me. So that's the thing. It's like because there's so many different apps to access that thing.
Oh.
Like now I found one that kind of works for me. So it's all about the app, I'd say. Yeah. Anyway, it's still a Star Trek podcast. Let's go.
There you go. There you go. Any other news? Anything? No? I will say I didn't mention it on the last episode, but the Uhura pins have been ordered. They are in production. When we get them, I will be sure to post a picture of their awesome beautifulness and start shipping them out to you guys. So yeah,
I can say that there's gonna be a special communique for our patrons on Patreon tonight.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a surprise.
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 Anything else? Anything else? Good. It's time for the strange new loop. So this is a Starfleet Academy 101 question. Like this is, you debate this in one of the classes, like ethics. I probably like Starfleet ethics. Curious what your guys' answers would be. If your shuttle crash landed on a planet, like Gorovich's did here, and you had no hope of communication with your flagship or your mothership, your vessel, kind of a la like the Malloy episode of the Orville where he gets trapped in the past. Yeah. Would you A, keep your distance from the native people and live a life of servitude?
Of servitude.
Solitude.
Oh boy, Freudian slip. Live a life of solitude, or would you seek help and try and find a way off the planet, possibly breaking the Prime Directive?
You got to go the Malloy way, right? And find your cell phone girlfriend and start a family. That's the only way you could do it.
I think I'd go like in between. Like you cannot live by yourself. That's not possible. Like you need help, you need people, like for real. I mean it really depends.
We're social people, right? We're social people.
If you end up on a Gorn planet, I'd say no, but but maybe I wouldn't say everything so I don't like mess up with like the whole society, telling them that if I look like them, it's easy. If I don't look like them, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. Chat, let us know what you think, too, if you have an opinion. Hawk, what about you, man?
Depends on the situation. Like, it depends on like the people you're meeting as you're crash landing. Like, is it the same kind of proto-Vulcans that, like, Picard had to, convince that he wasn't a god?
Oh, yeah. That was
The Picard? The Picard. It's like who watches the Watchers?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Watchmen do.
The Watchmen. So yeah, it all depends, but Giraffe is right. You can't live a life of in just by yourself with no contact with nobody. It all depends on if there's actual help to seek in getting off the planet. How again, it's all theoretical.
Indeed. Eric, was your answer find yourself your
cell phone girlfriend?
Cell phone girlfriend.
Do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But see, I think it's a bit lame. There's so many other possible girlfriend, and you go for your cell phone girlfriend. Like, come on, man.
It's a little stalkery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a
that's
little
weird.
bit.
I'm still going with that answer.
I like it. I would try really hard to not interfere, but I think I'd end up failing. It depends. Like if I could find like a dog, like no, really. If I could find like that planet's equivalent of a dog and like train it and make it like my best friend, then I think I could probably do it. Right?
Do you have a
Okay,
power
I am
outlet? You can charge
legend.
your phone. It's fine, right? You have a dog. You have a cell phone.
No, I'd probably like try and build a cabin or something and like, be the wild man of the woods and like hunt and crap. But like, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably fail miserably and be like, hello, breaking the prime directive. I need help. Yeah.
Which of these berries are edible?
Yeah.
I'm not from this planet.
as I'm dying.
It's one of my main problems that they just go on planets and like eat whatever, and nobody ever has like a allergic
Bones
reaction.
is right there
and
with a
I'm like,
hypo spray, right? Like,
nah, nah. I don't buy
man.
this.
No. Any other thoughts on the Stranger Loop? Good. Quick and go moving right along on the show tonight. Let's do it. Let's do a review of episode 113 of Star Trek Prodigy, All the World's a Stage, which is a Shakespeare reference. Love the Shakespeare.
The Merchant of Venice, no?
I believe so. And the order tonight will be, she got to read the Patriots version. She gets to go first tonight. Giraffe, Hawk, Eric, followed by myself. I mean, I know how much you love this episode. So
It's from As You Like It, by the way.
Oh, it's As You Like It. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Finding the Enterprisians. So as Jankum is trying to, blast away the living construct, not well. Janeway picks up the living construct, not well. Janeway picks up on a distress call from a nearby planet, but can't lock onto it because of like weird timey-wimey subspace distortion stuff going on. Not timey-wimey. This isn't a time travel episode, but subspace. If there's something wrong, blame it on subspace. When Dahl, Gwyn, and Zero and Pog beam down, they're met by James T. and Sulu, who are wearing green Starfleet type uniform, like Hawk and Dress pictures. And James T. is very much doing his very best Bill Shatner, or his very best every actor who's tried to impersonate Bill Shatner over the years.
Even Bill Shatner himself.
Even Bill Shatner himself. And Sulu sounds a whole lot like George Takei. Like, you get the point. Takei. Sorry, so. Takei. Thank you. George Takei. So the two of them think that Dahl and the away team are Starflight. What did you guys think at first glance when we met just these two, James T. and Sulu? Like, where did you think this was going, Jeff?
First of all, I've been obsessed with these uniforms since the trailer, because I was like, are they zombies? Are they Frankensteins? Like,
didn't you think it was a cult at that time too?
I thought it was a cult.
Oh, it was you? I couldn't remember.
I thought it was a cult. I mean, it is still
sort of
a cult.
Okay, so can I talk about this? Because I didn't read the outline, so I don't know if we're
no, not allowed. No, go ahead.
Later. Okay, so do you know what is a cargo cult?
No.
Okay, so during Second World War, the Americans and the Japanese would like crash on islands in the Pacific or like drop cargo, and whole civilization would develop cults around that cargo, around the plane they would see in the sky. Google it; it's absolutely incredible, and it would have like this replica of homemade planes and so on. So that is a cargo cult, like. Absolutely. Like they have a fake Enterprise, they like dress, they have like a ceremonies around it. And it's very interesting because I was talking with Jesse, and the fact that
husband Jesse or Jesse Gender?
Husband Jesse.
You never know.
The other one. And it's interesting because Gene Roddenberry was a pilot during Second World War, right?
He was, yep.
So he most probably knew about this cargo cult. So there's something that you see about like the prime directive. You cannot leave things behind because then whole civilization get impacted in this and try to make sense of whatever has fell on them. So that is like a 101 classic cargo cult, right? They have like these like statues. I swear to God, Google it and look at the picture. It's exactly it. They have like these uniforms made up. So when I saw that, first of all, I crack up because like the guy speaks like Shatner, so that was so funny. And then my anthropological side was like, "Oh my god, it's a cargo cult! It's so cool!" And I was really hoping that they were not gonna mess up, like I'm gonna say it, but like Lower Decks messed up on the
with Peanut
crash on their
Hamper.
planet. Yes. and I have to say, they absolutely they nailed it. It's
like Peanut
it's
Hamper.
incredible.
This is a kid's show.
It's a kid show, man. Out.
Yeah.
Give him the button.
Which one? There's so
I
many.
don't know.
what?
We cannot give. I don't know. We cannot give the
I
button.
want to know what the hell is going on.
Yes.
Oh no. No more children's.
Nope.
So
No more. You
I was
took that
really-
away.
I was really excited that it was not zombies or Frankenstein or a cult or like, a weird, I don't know, Return of the Archon kind of cult, but an actual cargo cult. Because then I was like, wow, that's cool that Star Trek is going to explore this. And actually, they made a very awesome episode, so I'm very happy about it. I don't remember the question. Did I answer the question?
No.
Yeah.
You answered because we were talking about Colts, so I like that you answered that
yes.
question. Now, what do you think about James T and Sulu? Like just on first
Hilarious.
glance, yeah.
I love it. I want to know how they learn to speak like this. Like, do they just find a guy that speaks like Shatner and they're like, "You're gonna be James T"?
No, they said he was from birth, so they probably just made him talk like that as a child.
So like a cult. Huh?
Yeah, like a cult.
Like a Colt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawk.
Yeah,
I'm next. God damn it!
No.
What? Oh,
Hawk.
okay. I can't read.
You have glasses on, man.
They're fake.
The
No.
wrong glasses. Hawk.
I had no idea what was going on. Like when you meet them, and that it's not so much that they're wearing Starfleet uniforms; it's that they're imitating like James T and Sulu, and kind of getting it wrong. So, like, I really couldn't.
Did they get it wrong though?
They did get it wrong. I mean, the voice they got, the voice was spot on, but
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
pretty much everything else was just a little off, and it was bizarre. I knew there was something going on with the like cultural contamination. I just I couldn't figure out how like the original Enterprise crew played into it.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, this one hooked my attention.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. Like they sound so good. Like even the guy who's playing Sulu has that deep baritone voice. So you're just
I
sitting there
actually
like,
thought it was George for a
Me
second.
too.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But it was wonderful. The first thing I thought was like, oh shit, they're doing a Galaxy Quest episode, and
Oh my god!
and
yes.
and yeah, it's sort of like that. It's very similar to that actually. So it was nice seeing them. It felt like such a homegrown cosplay fun thing that they were doing. So I was sitting there, like, this is amazing. Oh yeah, and also obviously I knew about the cargo cult. So
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Oh, I don't know if that was sarcastic or not. Sometimes I can tell.
It was
Oh my
sarcastic.
God. Brilliant. I loved this. I absolutely loved this. The minute that James T started talking like James T, I was hooked. I was like, they're not gonna do Enterprise Cult. Oh my God, they're doing Enterprise Cult. This is amazing. Just so good. Just this one list, dude. They, I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I have to now because it's the first thing I think of when I watch this. They totally break Starfleet's #1 rule the minute that they see the crew and shoot first. It's like they're a Starfleet cult, but they shoot first. It's like,
But they're from Kirk's era, so they're like
they
Yeah.
still didn't shoot
And-
first.
But Kirk.
Oh no. Okay, I have actually an explanation for that. So the ensign is the guy from from Obsession
Who couldn't shoot?
who couldn't shoot and ends up like in his quarters sent by Kirk because he didn't shoot the murder cloud. And I'm like, I think he just told them like, just shoot at it,
Just shoot
at it.
everything.
It actually made me laugh a lot when
Oh,
at
it's
the end
amazing.
I learned that it was like, what is it, Garrickson? What is the name of the ensign? I don't remember.
Gary,
Anyway,
I have it.
David Garrickson.
I kept on saying it. David Garovic.
Yaravik. And I'm like, okay, so that makes sense. They shot first.
It's actually really funny.
The guy was like, first rule about Starflight Club, you shoot first.
I absolutely love that, and I love that it's Pog that gets shot because
It was
He
annoying.
needed to get-
Say
he
it.
needed to
needed
get
it.
shot.
Especially
He
this
needed
episode.
Oh,
I
this
have a
episode.
small cough. Cough, cough, cough. I was like, oh.
Dude, come on, man. So later the two take the away team to the new Enterprise, not Enterprise, the Enterprise. It's colony, just exactly like Giraffe explained it, a cargo cult built to look like the Enterprise. There, the Enterprisians tell the story of Ensign, who crash landed on the planet and taught the locals the way of peace and of Starfleet. But he also told them about what we later find out to be, the shuttle Galileo in the cave. He tells them about the cave, and then, and how there's like danger in there. But over the decades, his probably initial warning of like, just don't go in there. Like my shuttle's doing bad stuff. Like just don't do that. That's been warped over decades as these stories do to be something supernatural and not that could scare kids at night because it's real. It's hurting them. How do we feel about Ensign, or as we know him now, Garavik's decision to share his ways and kind of, pollute this culture in more ways than one, even though he was trying to save them from the damage done by the crash? Giraffe.
So I really liked it because I think it's first contact done right in the idea that when you see in TNG, Picard was like, oh no, we cannot do contact. We're going to let them die. You're like, dude, no, it's a kid by himself on the planet. You're going to let him die.
Oh, the one that Data made friends with. Oh,
Yeah.
Pen pal.
You're like,
Yeah, great episode.
who gives a fuck about like Prime Directive? It's a person.
I'm gonna
It's
bleep all these
living-
out. Still,
Oh,
don't worry.
sorry.
No, I'm gonna bleep them out. It's fine.
Sorry.
No, I'm gonna bleep them out. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Fuckity fuck
I
fuck.
forgot. I forgot. I'm so sorry. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So it actually makes sense for me that Prodigy has a very good approach to it. Aaron Walke knows his track
I love that
and
man.
has reflected upon track. That's the other thing. That sometimes I blame. Like I'm not really happy with Lord X on this. Like I feel they go for the tropes, but we don't always reflect on them. And this one is such a sensible, precise, reflected approach to first contact. He's right. Like he crashed. It's not his fault. It's a mistake, right? He's not gonna let them die. That's ridiculous. And he makes up that story that can like match with their understanding of the world at that moment and give them everything they need to survive this and like save themselves. I think that's so good. That's so good. And it made me think of Endor with that polluted planet and these people were left behind.
Right.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was like, oh wow, okay. So that made me think a lot. But I think it's right, and nobody questions it, and that's what I like because I'm a bit tired of Star Trek discussing first contact forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and they're like, oh, should we save these people? Let them die. I'm like, no, save the people. What are you doing? So great story and great plot. 10/10.
Nice. Hawkeye.
I really did love their approach to this. Yeah, it is kind of Galaxy Quest in that in a way. But then again, like it's not like he was giving them technology and like changing their civilization,
Right.
for the worse, and that by giving them something they really shouldn't have had at that point in their development. That really, it's about the stories. He's alone on this planet, and that's like these people have helped him in that. So, obviously they want to know more about him and that. So he's like, he told them. It's like, I come from this place. We have a federation of planets and that. And they embraced it. And it kind of reflects us in a way, right? I mean, this whole episode was kind of had like a little nod to cosplay and like our fandom and our love of something, Starfleet that, is, centuries away from us. But at the same time,
You're so right though, how like, and I think you both have said it, like that it's like a love for cosplay, right? Like they're literally LARPing on the decks, like doing the Kirk Fu and the double punches.
They have a
So-
shadow box of an
Yeah.
original series uniform and the phaser. Like what fan doesn't do that?
Exactly. Hawk, anything else?
I think that's I just love the way they approached it with this. Yeah.
Yep.
The way I see it is that he crash landed on this planet to the effect of the fact that it would, destroy a little bit of their, environment, and he knew that he couldn't repair the Galileo and the damage that it was causing there. So I feel like he made the conscious choice to tell these people what was happening so that he could, ward them away from this area. They brought him in, they helped him survive. So obviously he's gonna, tell them where he's from, where, what's happening. I think he did as a precautionary tale, mostly so that they didn't, go in there and poison themselves. I do think that they may have seen him as a little bit of a godlike figure.
Well, yeah, if you come like crashing from the sky, right?
Yeah, and that's just where the cultish stuff, like Jeff was saying earlier, like something crashes in your area from a strange land, strange area, you don't have to, but often you'll revere it, or you'll make it more special than it actually is. And he's a red shirt. Like, honestly, how special can you make a red shirt?
A red shirt that got punished by character.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
a very
It's
special
true.
red shirt.
It's true. I love that the way that they retell stories was orally, like the tradition has been. The fact that they moved it onto a stage show that had high school level backdrops and everything. It was just amazing.
Or community college, like
it's true. Sometimes better than community college. Honestly, that reproduction that they did of Alien in that high school in the States, like, this was not better than that. Like, they did it way better. But I loved it, and I love that they even showcased the people like picking up their props, moving off, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is such an awesome. It was a love for so many different fandoms just in that little section.
It really was. Yeah. It really was.
The question I have, though, sorry if I can jump in.
Yeah.
No, not allowed. No, go ahead. Sorry, kidding. I was joking.
Wait,
Go
Drafts
ahead.
jumping in?
What a shock.
I wonder how much. I mean, he did that to prepare them for first contact too, because he sent the beacon, and it was they're gonna come at one point or another. And I want these people who saved me, who nursed me, who fed me, made me one of their own, to have a chance to be part of the Federation and meet Starfleet, and not be ignored or like studied or all this, because we've seen that they sometimes, like Star Trek, they come in and they hide and just fix the problem. I see you, Kelvin verse. And try to leave without the locals seeing them. And I do think Garrickson.
Garavik.
I want him to be named Garrickson, like, a lot.
Like
Garavik.
Garrick's son. He'd have to be
Garavik,
Cardassian.
That'd be amazing.
Taught them all that, so whenever Starfleet shows up, they have a chance to actually make contact. And I find it very nice. I like it.
Me too. I really like that he did what he did, because Draft, you said it way back when, however many minutes that was again now, because Starfleet has a horrible tendency to just let things happen. And his crashing there was going to have an adverse effect on these people. He didn't really have a choice. It's I keep going back to the pilot of Strange New Worlds. Like, the Discovery and Enterprise's fight with Control had a direct effect on Kylie 426. And because of that, Pike, much to Starfleet's chagrin, makes a decision to just be like, hey, here we are, because they're directly responsible for them making a warp bomb. Like, you have to do something about that. You have to take responsibilities for your actions. Like, what happens if Starfleet just does leave a shuttle that's leaking plasma in a volcano and no one ever knows about it? Locals find it, and maybe Starfleet comes along. Like, they then have a negative connotation about, like, Starfleet, or a negative feeling about Starfleet. And Garavik prevents that from happening. And I really, really like that. So it was really well done. Like you said, Aaron knows his Star Trek so well, right? Like,
it's not only that he knows his Star Trek, but he has like very good reflection about it. Because I don't like that episode of Strange New Worlds. I think
the pilot?
it's yeah, because like it's basically showing up and expecting people to just bid to your value when you're somebody that comes from another planet and doesn't even look like them, and it's magically showing us like, oh, we know better than you, look at our values, oh, don't do it. And I'm like, and see, in Prodigy, Starfleet does that to the world of Gwyn, the what's the name again,
I forget the name of the planet.
the Nova
Murder
Cat.
World?
No,
Oh, no.
Nova Cat. No, yeah. Anyway, and it ends up in civil war and people killing each other. And I think that's a way better reflection about first contact and how first contact can have impact on people than being, you know what, we showed up and look at us, we have better values than everybody and we did the same mistake, don't do that mistake, move on. And then maybe second contact in like 100 years. Come on.
I do think it's a little bit different than that, though, because they were already on the verge of destroying each other anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? If people are hating each other and somebody comes out of the sky, not looking like them, and tell them we know better. For me, that episode was like so colonialist in a way. You don't even know these people. You just showed up. Literally, you just showed up, and you showed up because you're looking for your first officer. You know nothing about them, and you have the I don't know, the pride to just like tell them everything. For me, that's first contact done wrong. And that's first contact done in a way that I know better than you. You don't know if these people, they don't have like one people genocide the other one. Maybe they have a good reason to hate each other. Who knows? You know? And I really like that Aaron Walke has this very sensible approach to this question in Star Trek. And he speaks about the Vaona Cat, like, and the destruction of their civilization because of first contact. Here he shows first contact in a way to save people. There's like all these like anthropological nuances that he gets, and he goes in places that I'm so happy to see Star Trek go. It's so smart, it's so nuanced, it's so reflected, and it's so in itself very anthropological and very human in how people would react to something like this. I feel the live action shows, I'm going off. The live action shows go to the easy pleasing Star Trek classic stuff, which is fine. It's good, but I'm so happy there's somebody in there who writes these sensible scripts that are actually so smart on so many levels. And I'm like, hey, David,
yeah,
hi,
we have
how
a special
are you?
guest in the chat from Promenade Merchants podcast. Welcome, David.
Just a moment when I'm renting. Yes.
Yep. That's the perfect time to come into our show.
You mean the whole podcast?
The whole
come
podcast?
on.
It's true.
Julian is being mean to me. Do something.
No, I agree with him. Sorry. You and I are never going to agree on Strange New Worlds either. But
were
that's a whole other story.
Were you trying to figure out the name of Gwen's planet?
Yes.
It was Solemn.
No, the
Solemn.
yeah, but the people, it's the Vaona Cat, no?
Vaona Cat, yeah.
Vaona Cat, yeah.
Let's move on to the cave, right? The dilithium cave, which is causing this sickness because of the chain reaction between the plasma and the hazardous material within dilithium. One of the colonists, Hoorah, returns sick. It is kind of like hoorah, but also uhura. That's really funny. Returns sick and accidentally also infects Dahl. So Gwyn makes the call to go to what they were calling the gallows, because of the. I love all the play on words. Gallows. They interpret that from Galileo. It's A+. There they find, like I just said, an old Galileo shuttlecraft from the Enterprise. The shuttle, which belonged to Ensign David Garvik, has been leaking plasma, chain reacting with lithium. Once again, Starfleet inadvertently responsible for doing a little bit more harm than good. But we kind of already talked about this. He does the right thing.
They never came to pick him up, though.
They never came to pick him up.
That's so messed up. just left him here. There was like,
I think that was because of the subspace chop, though. I don't think that they ever got the message.
But wouldn't they know that he went down there?
Good point.
He took one of their shuttles.
I mean, in the Galileo 7 episode, they actually go find them.
Can we talk about the fact that Kirk was already like really pissed at this guy and probably just decided to ditch him and move on?
Well, was he
No, because
not at the end of that episode?
Not at the end. He was
not
telling
at the
war
end of the
stories with him at the end.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
I mean, we
I
already kind of
glanced.
talked about it, so I think I'm actually going to skip it because we
Mhm.
ended up talking about it with the crash and the Prime Directive and doing good and going about it the right way.
Starfleet
let's
does
talk-
seem to do more harm than good
They
most
do
of the time.
most of the time. They think they're doing well and then just kind of screw everything up.
But then, they do try to
Fix their
fix
mistakes.
most of the problems.
AKA, that's why the
Yeah.
California class exists.
Yeah, the second
That's true.
contact. I like.
Yeah.
I think at one point they say like, "Oh, there are precise rules about second contact." And I was like,
Yeah, Jane was like, yeah, they're up in the air how second
Yeah.
contact goes. Yeah. So Pog. Well, Pog. He tries to fix the leak and ends up needing rescuing. And after Zero comes up with an antidote, because I think Rock said like dilithium poisoning and something else. It was like, oh, I can make an antidote with those keywords. Dahl thinks fast and knows that the Starfleet crew can help him pilot the Protostar, albeit with that really cool like retro Constitution class look aboard. That was awesome. I feel like once again Dahl is just coming into his own. Once again, what did we think about this? With this brash young kid, right, that we meet in the first episode, who's definitely made some bad choices, now captaining a starship, and then also this rescue mission, all while Garavik's log is playing over that
Yeah.
moment. Someone else, an officer who's also, made some mistakes, kind of like Dahl. What do we think about this draft?
So first of all, I have one problem with that episode is how nobody recognized radiation sickness without a tricorder. I'm like, really, none of you recognize radiation sickness?
Well,
Isn't
the
that a
kids.
mixture though of radiation and dilithium
Dilithium.
poisoning or something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just like, I really like that when Dahl comes back after the hypos where he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, which is so on point again, because that's the thing. And it makes me think of this kid that have to grow up too fast because of the situation, and they have to be the adults because there's nobody to be the adults for them, and nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. But being adults, like accepting that nobody knows what they're doing.
Sure.
And being a kid is thinking that everybody has it figured out and that you're supposed to have it figured out. And Dahl is in that situation where he's a captain. He has lives, even if we criticize him a lot, I think he really knows that he has the lives of everybody in his hands and he's responsible. He has this like kid being the adult kind of feeling, and how he panics when he's sick and how he panics seeing them role playing, thinking that he's role playing him too. Again, so well written, and I think he's coming into his own in accepting that nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's the big lesson of Prodigy. It's like, just do the things, just do the thing, because at least you're doing it when nobody else is doing it. So do the thing. I think the rescue mission was insane. I like the fact that Jane Pog is actually doing something.
He didn't do anything. He didn't actually do anything.
Well, he jumped into the shuttle that was
Yeah.
What was he trying
crashed
to
into
fix?
lithium
No,
plasma,
he
whatever.
figured out.
actually-
He figured out that they had a radio that could actually break through the interference, and that.
He
Yeah,
managed
that's
the
true.
radio.
That's
he
okay.
radioed Zero saved everybody. I mean,
Okay,
Come
fair
on.
enough. Good point.
it is
All
something.
right. All right. We'll give Jankum his due this week.
Again, I'd like to see Jamcom do more things, but yeah, no, I think Dal is growing, and I think it's nice. And I think that rewatching Prodigy, maybe at the end of the season, we're gonna look at Dal in a very different manner.
Yeah, nice. Hawk.
Yeah, like you said, he keeps coming into his own. I like that this episode, because they had such a setback, with the last couple episodes, not knowing that they now have to play keep away with Starfleet with this whole protostar thing. They were all intent on joining, and even when he's suiting up and that, you could see like a little, despair in his eyes, because he knew that they still weren't really Starfleet, but they were still going to act like they were, not in responding to this distress call. And he still doubts himself because he's not sure exactly what he brings to the table. As Draft pointed out, he's a kid in that who hasn't had any adult mentorship, and that he's a kid who's had to basically grow him on his own.
And he didn't even go to school. Like they learn nothing.
Exactly.
Like that's very. I mean, and they couldn't even talk with anybody. So they were basically by themselves, not knowing what they were doing ever. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And yet, every time there's a high stress situation in that, he does something that all great captains in Starfleet bring to the table in
panic,
like an out of the box solutions. He has this. You see him in each episode, and that when he's confronted with this, he always has some sort of like kind of like a last ditch kind of like play. Like when they were attacked by the Borg, and he made the sacrifice play of like disconnecting the bridge plate so that Gwen could get away and save the rest of them while they were captured by the Borg. Here he has that out of the box thinking, and that they need the protostar, but they are short like 3 members of a crew. But he realizes that these people, they know how to operate a starship. Just they just need a holographic guide to show them.
Oh man, so good. The holographic overlays on top of the.
I cried a little bit. I was like,
especially when the
yeah.
Oh, you.
I think I'm just about done. But like as I said, Dahl is really coming into his own, and that, and I hope he gets over the self doubts more towards the end of the season, because he's going to be a great captain one day.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's no surprise that I wasn't. It's not a surprise to anyone that I didn't really like Dahl for most of this series. I think, same with Julian. But like the last couple episodes, he's really been coming into his own, and I like seeing his progression as a character. It's him growing up as a person. He as a person who doesn't know his species. He doesn't know where he comes from. There's so much uncertainty in his life that it's understandable that he panics in these situations. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He feels responsible for all these people, and then he sees that this civilization, who's also been imitating Starfleet, has gotten in a lot of trouble. A lot of people are getting sick, possibly dying, and he doesn't want that for his crew. And the fact that he feels responsibility for them is such a good character growth for him, because he would have just cut and run if he was, the first 2 or 3 episodes. I really like him. Even if you guys haven't played the Star Trek, the Prodigy game as well, he's also very good in that too.
He's really good in that.
Like that game also has no right being.
Are you playing it with Kateri?
I am. I always have to be Dao, because she has to be going.
Dad life, baby.
I
Dad
know,
life. Girl, dad
like,
life.
that's fine.
I'm green all the time, but then when there's a fight, I want to be Dahl because he has better.
He had the better phasers, yeah.
Cecily,
I like the
Cecily
sword,
just
though.
runs away and lets me do all the fighting because she doesn't want to fight.
I play by myself, so I play both characters.
Kateri takes all the health. And I'm like, come on, man. Give me
Oh my god, yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I'm like, dude, I have like a half moon left.
Oh,
come on.
I love this whole sequence. Like, I love that the log was playing over both Dal and the ground crew, trying to figure things out and trying to work forward. And it shows that he was also thinking about the people while he was stranded there. It was everything here just fits so perfectly. It's one of those moments in Star Trek where you're just like, God, the writing, the acting, the direction, like all the set pieces looked gorgeous. On top of it being really well done, like this show is just so good.
Yeah. It really is, and I mean, you kind of knocked it out of the park, Eric. Like I don't know how much better I could put it. Like my favorite moment from this episode was Dahl bringing them aboard, and that happening with like making the Constitution overlays. But the Garavik log playing over it was just was really emotional. Like it's
so
one of those
much.
moments that really hits you because. Like if you have watched TOS, like it's like it's a redemption story for him, and as Eric said, like I did not like Dahl, and now Dahl is like, and listen, does Dahl still screw up? Yeah, is he gonna screw up again? Spoiler alert, yeah, but like no, it's just the true, and like that's his character arc, but like he learns his lessons, and I love every episode that he comes into his own a little bit more, and this is just one of those like really feel good moments. And animators, I'm looking at you. Everything you do with the protostar going into the cave, and it's just, I get goosebumps every single week. Even if I don't necessarily like the story of an episode, like I can just stare every single week and just watch it muted because it's just so dang beautiful. I love it. I love it. Anything else on this before we move on to very quickly Murf? Good.
Oh, on the wall episode? Because I have so
no.
many
We'll get into final thoughts.
I love that the Enterpriseians when they were on the bridge, the reverence that they had to everything on there was just like any of us being on a set for Star Trek.
Yeah,
it was. And then when it switched over and they were like, "Oh shit, this is my bag," I was just like, "I love this."
I actually thought it was maybe I don't know when they wrote it or when they shot that or drew that, but it made me think of Melissa Navia, how she wanted to know exactly how the console worked and where she had to like push the buttons to know what they were doing. And that made me think of like that level of fans that I want to know because there's so many buttons in TOS and they all look like, jellies or whatever.
Jellies, yeah. Jelly bean, yeah.
And to actually know what the thing is doing and how to do it, which is so fun. And yeah, it was really...
And I love when Dahl says, like full impulse power, and Hura goes, yeah, pulse power, just impulse, pulse power.
I have to say that for me too, I took it as how like heroism and values can transcend language. You don't need to have the same word for an impulse or whatever, and still have like know how to do it. Again, so many levels in this episode. So many.
David has an amazing question on YouTube. I asked myself, is this how the Hageman brothers see Trekkies?
Well, actually,
I mean, they are Trekkies too, to be fair.
Aaron, like, answered me on Twitter saying that he wrote it as a Trekkie and a con-goer and how it was for him. So
I love that.
That's amazing.
I love that. That's beautiful.
We're talking about cosplay. I'll talk about that at the end.
Yep. Murf has cocooned. Straight up just in a cocoon. What is happening?
We have a bot in the chat.
Oh, that's we're not gonna read that one. Dang it, Giraffe.
Girls, I said girls. It's not a bad word.
Oh no, that's true. It's not. Eric, are you on it or am I on it? I could do it.
Eric's got it.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Aw, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, bot.
You good? You got it?
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, Murf. What's happening with Murf? Guesses. Hawk, you're not allowed to go, and I'm not allowed to go.
I can't go either.
So
Giraffe and
you can. I'm the only one who doesn't know.
Murf turns into a butterfly.
Yep, a beautiful, beautiful butterfly.
So the things like I cannot guess because now that we know what Murf is, and it's just an obscure reference of an insult given in TNG in one episode. It's not even a thing we ever saw on Star Trek. I have no clue. But if it's a walking, talking, sentient, intelligent being, I don't know. I'm gonna this.
I can tell you what Kateri thought, because when she saw it at the end, she's like, "What is going on? Is Murf a caterpillar? Is Murf gonna turn into, like, she thinks that Murf's gonna have wings and is gonna fly soon? So I'm down with that.
Is he one of the butterfly people from Discovery?
He's 100% one of the butterfly people from Discovery. Yep, that's who he is.
Yes.
Cecily just got really excited, like when all of a sudden Rock looked up and it was a cocoon. Like Cecily was like,
I know
what's going on. Right?
Listen, I've been excited since the trailer where we see that Murf has hatched or something, and I was like, what is Murf? My bet was on a sentient gel pack from the Voyager, and I lost. So
that's still my headcanon.
Sentient gel pack, yes, absolutely. But the thing that I'm a bit wary about, or worried even, is that kids love Murf so much, and so Murf is not gonna be Murf anymore. And I think one of the appeal of Murf is like how round and like, you know, slimy and jelly he is.
We shall say nothing. But like Murf is more the adorable attitude. I know that's what my kids are like. He's so cute, and I don't think they're gonna ever not make Murf cute.
Maybe it's gonna be two Murfs. Can it be two Murfs?
Oh, like an amoeba, like.
Yeah,
it's like
or like a worm, right? Like when you cut a worm
like,
in half, it just becomes two worms.
Two Murfs, and it's like the Dupplers. They're gonna be overrun by Murfs.
Murf is the beginning of the Dupplers. Oh, amazing!
There's this running gag on Solar Opposites, and that they have the pupa with them. This pupa, they say, is going to eventually change shape and take its final form, and it's like they're always hinting at it every season, and it's just like it never changes.
I gotta read.
Maybe it's just gonna be another Murf. It's just gonna be old Murf, but a bit bigger.
Different colors.
I gotta read Haven and MC's comments here. Is this Murf evolution why D. Bradley Baker was hired? And MC goes, imagine Murf with Rex's voice from Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Yes, General.
Roger. Move along. Oh boy. Well, yeah, draft can only go because the three of us know. So we're gonna shut up and not talk about Murf anymore. But things are happening. Murf is evolving, and that's really cool. Evolution is cool, and it's very Star Trek, which I really appreciate. Giraffe, you've been waiting for this moment. Final thoughts. I know you have more things to say.
God,
Final thoughts on this episode.
So I could not watch that episode, not like as a cosplayer, because I always say that there are so many different kind of cosplayer. You know, you have the cosplayer that buys the Starfleet uniform and are themselves but in Starfleet, which I love. Then there are cosplayer like me who's gonna go extreme length to like make an exact replica of like that thing and that precise character in that show. And then you have the people that are gonna create their own thing and, you know, and exercise and have abs and like be super hot and so on, which I'm never gonna do because I'm too lazy. But for me, when Dahl had this like whole like they dress up and play Starfleet, you know, it was like, yeah, that's what we do. We dress up and play Starfleet, but it's so much more for some of us. Like I was on Twitter and I was talking with Aaron Walkie, and I was saying that as a Black woman, Star Trek is one of the rare show where they were people I could embody and, you know, be and still look like me. And it's much more than just dressing in the uniform. It's embodying the value of that people or that show or that character that makes you feel powerful for like a day. You know, you're like, I can walk in this shoe. I can be this person. Like, I can be like this person. That's why I'm always so, I don't know. I don't understand people that go and like dress as the Empire in Star Wars, because I'm like, that's like weird values to have. I mean, they look cool. They look absolutely cool. But go as Darth Vader, you're like, meh. For me, as my type of cosplay, putting on the uniform or putting on the thing I've made is to, for a moment, be that powerful person with these values I respect, or that power I'd like to have, or that awesomeness, or that bravery. And I think it talks so much about heroism in that episode, on how there's that quote. I actually wrote it down. Let me find it. Where they say, you don't need a real ship to believe in what it stands for. And that's so true. That's exactly, we don't have a ship. And I mean, if tomorrow Starfleet shows up, we're all gonna be like, yes.
Oh, I'm putting my uniform on like
I'm out.
that, right? Yeah.
Like, and that's what I like so much too in Star Trek 4, when what's her name? The scientist is like, oh, I'm coming with you. You're not letting me here. And I like this because that's it. It's not only that they're copying Starfleet because they've been kind of brainwashed into, or like colonized into wearing this. It's because they believe in this ideal, and they want to be part of this. They want to be part of that federation. They want to be brave, and they actually rise to the occasion. Like, right away, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna explore. Yeah, we're gonna man the ship. And I think, again, it's such a beautiful love letter to fans and to Star Trek, in a way that makes you feel good about being a Trekkie and a cosplayer. Because yeah, I do that because I actually believe in the same ideals. And you know what? If tomorrow I can rise to the occasion, I will rise to the occasion in a heartbeat. So yeah, let's go Trekkies.
That was beautiful. Damn,
Thank
Giraffe. That was
I know.
awesome. Before you guys want to read these two comments, kind of echoing what you said, David wrote out, when I wear my Starfleet uniform, especially at non-Trek conventions, I definitely take the value seriously. I stay in character as a Starfleet officer. Yeah, it's like you want to make the uniform proud, right? Like I love wearing my uniforms. When I'm in lower decks, I act like a complete ass, but that's that's what you do when you're a lower decker. MC also wrote, when I wear my Starfleet uniform at work for Halloween, if I had to leave the front end where I usually work, I would tell everyone I was going on an away mission. Yes.
I was actually wearing my my Discovery jacket today at work with that shirt.
You wore it at your school photos.
Yeah. So I didn't know we were gonna have school photos. So sure enough,
Sure.
and I come, I swear, like, I don't know what's going on, and then I was like, oh no, and then I said, like, I can take off the jacket, and she's like, no, I love it. Really complements the purple of your shirt. So, and I was like, thank God I was not wearing a nerdy t-shirt. But yeah, I wear the jacket very often, and that's funny because I get so many compliments. But
I'm just gonna start wearing mine out from now on.
But you know what? Like you say, like when you wear the uniform, then you embody the values. For me, it's kind of not the opposite, but I embody these values, and when I wear the uniform, it's a signal to other people who are embodying these values that I'm part of the club. I see it like this. Like I'm always a Starfleet officer in my heart. I always strive to this. But then when I wear it, I'm trying to find other people like me. I'm like, hey, you like Star Trek?
Any other final thoughts on this one?
Well, this is why we love having Giraffe on the show, because she just makes it so easy, because she's already saying what we think.
It's actually very true.
I'm totally making that green uniform, by the way. 1,000%. I'm on it.
I can't wait to see it. There's not really much more to say. It was a great episode about first contact, and not just in the way like in the usual sense, first contact, and like it just totally goes wrong and everything. An entire civilization is almost destroyed. No, this first contact, even though it was accidental, ended up producing something quite amazing. At first I thought maybe it was a Galaxy Quest thing. It's like they just like they worship this society without really realizing what they're worshiping in that. But by the end, when Boons talks to Dahl and says, we know we're not, we know we're not real Starfleet or Starflight, but it shows you that they kind of got the ideals that the whole thing that Starfleet was striving for, and it's like the very idea of it got passed on to them without the usual harm that comes from cultural contamination in these episodes. It's just a very well thought out episode, very well written. Walkie did a great job.
Yeah.
I love that this, like Galaxy Quest, is a love letter to fans, and that's really, like, you couldn't have done this without the encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek and the love for the culture of fandom around this. And when I watch Galaxy Quest and you see the love for what they did for Star Trek then, like, it's probably one of my favorite Star Trek movies. That's not a Star Trek movie. And you get the same feeling about that here. And the fact that they did that on a TV show that was actually in Star Trek is amazing.
Agreed. We're going to talk about the Easter eggs in a minute, but I just want to say, Aaron, bold and ballsy move, sir, to also of all the episodes of Star Trek to Easter egg and make like the main focal point and reference like a character from Obsession from TOS and make it work so beautifully. Tip of the hat. Great job. Holy
it's
cow.
the episode where they murder the most, the highest number of shirt.
Just
And
so
like,
good.
That guy who survived, I'm gonna crash him on a planet
It's
and poison
so
him.
good.
and poison him.
Let's talk about more of these Easter egg hunts. Anybody have any before I go with the normal?
I have
list?
one.
Go ahead.
The person who played David Garrovick in this episode is Fred Tatasciore.
Also played Boons.
Yep.
Bones.
Yep.
Bones. Yeah. Boons. Bones.
They were. I like when
Boons.
the Scotty guy goes like, "I'm not a miracle worker.
I cannot do it. Yeah.
I cannot do it."
All of that stage stuff.
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure there was a rules of second contact. Is a shout out to Lower Decks 1,000%.
Yep.
There was a shout out of the Kelvin verse with the volcano escape of the
So
protostar.
much.
So many Cullen things. Even when they were going down to the planet.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
God.
There's a lot.
I think the interference. Also, okay. So the fact that the dilithium stops interfere with like the tricorders, with transporters. I mean, we see that in Discovery. I don't think it's a shout out to Discovery, but we see it in with the dilithium planet. What is it?
Oh, yeah,
Hope Is
yeah.
Yours, number 2 or whatever.
You mean
Yeah,
Screaming Planet?
The screaming baby Kelpian planet. By the way, I rewatched that whole.
Plot hole planet?
Season. I rewatched that whole season, and I have less problem with it now. That's another conversation. But anyway, so I think it's like, referencing kind of indirectly this. The moment where they rock the ship.
The shake, yes. Yes.
Oh, it's so
Made me
good.
laugh so much. I wrote Jenkum is the worst in the middle of that. Oh, the Kirk flu.
Kirk, yep.
Oh, and then what did I say? Oh, I didn't say that, but I really like the fact that they say that's their choice to they need to choose how they want to evolve, and I really like this. Anyway, it's what I wrote, but yeah, that's what I have. And shout out, I think, to Melissa Navia about like knowing how everything works on the console.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Mm.
Good.
No.
Listen, I mentioned at the top of the show, but James T obviously doing his best Shatner, and every actor who's tried to be Shatner since then. Yeah, our man with the warp core, we already said Fred. A lot of roles in this week's episode, not just Garvik, but he was also Sprock and
He was Sprock.
a bunch.
Man.
and background Enterpriseians and Boons or Bones or whatever you want to pronounce his name. When the Enterpriseians are putting on the play of the log, speaking of Star Trek Discovery, the jingle that played, the normal jingle that we get, the ding, 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 ding. It was the Discovery one. It went ding, 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 ding. Like then it goes da 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 da.
I need
It's-
to rewatch that. I didn't catch
Yeah,
I
it's
need to
the
rewatch that too.
it's the Discovery one. And then just Nami with all the TOS callbacks in this episode of the score as well. Lots of Kelvinverse music from Star Trek 09 in this
So
music in this score.
so much.
Oh man,
Yes.
I love the music. I love this score. Like, so
Giacchino,
sidebar.
I mean, come on.
I don't think Nami will get mad at me for saying this, but we talk about her music every now and then, and she'll tell me, you know, I think I like my work on Prodigy better than Strange New Worlds, and both are such good scores. But like, man, do I get goosebumps from Prodigy like
So-
all the freaking time?
I agree with her. Yeah, Prodigy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was telling me that she goes bolder because it's animation.
Right,
And it needs to be
right.
carried by the music way more than live action. And apparently I think too they may have less, not restriction, but less notes when it's animation. So yeah, I
It's-
think
There's a lot
It has
more room
more
to
fun.
take chances, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's all I got. I was gonna say the Kirk Fu, but you guys said that was awesome. Let's rate this one out of 10 Galileo shuttlecrafts. We'll go in reverse order this time. Eric.
10.
Yeah.
Easy 10. It's an easy 10.
Yep. 10. 10.
10, man.
10.
It's the perfect episode.
This is the perfect
Yeah.
episode.
Yes.
YouTube collective, let us know your ratings as well. This is I think Hawk and I's second 10 in a row. 10 10 10 10 for sure.
I think the last time I gave a 10, maybe it was in Lower Decks, like the second episode or something like this.
You've given it a 10 more recently, I think.
Not in Lower Decks.
I'll have to go and look. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't know. Somebody fact check me.
Yeah. MC gives it a 10 out of 10. I'll read them as they come. Let's get into the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And we asked Trek Twitter what they thought of this week's episode, and this is what they had to say. Who wants the to poll?
Ooh, I could take it.
Hit it, Hawk.
All right. So 71% of you said live logs and proper. 9% said all double punch of awesome. 15% of you said most illogical. And 5% said gallows still an option.
15%.
I really-
What?
I really
15?
want to know. No, 5%.
No.
For most of
Oh,
Five
yeah.
percent was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to know what people didn't like in this episode. Like, I legit want to know because usually I can like say, oh yeah, you know, this or that is not gonna vibe. But I'm really interested in what in that episode was so, I don't know, shocking or like terrible or bad. I don't know.
A lot of that I've seen on Twitter, it's mostly about the kids being the crew. And that's what their main hang up is that they're
So it's about wolfing as Prodigy. It's not about this episode. Say,
Yeah.
I don't like Prodigy, so I don't like every single episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like Picard, but I like some episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
It's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
Like, they gave me so much Romulan content. I cannot be mad at Picard.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Everyone can be
You
mad
can,
at
still,
Picard.
you,
You can
you
be
can
mad
still
at
be mad at the
Picard, yeah.
writing. Yes.
Yeah. If season 3 is perfect, all is forgiven. But until then, you can
It
be mad
still
at
won't
Picard.
be.
I'm
That's
so
a lot of time that
scared.
it's
I'm
wasted.
so scared.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh, that's the running gag on the show, isn't it? Oh boy. Eric, why don't you keep going? Take Haven's mailbag, please.
I think Draft's before me.
I'm gonna do the reverse
Oh,
order.
you're gonna do
She
reverse?
gave the rating
Okay.
last. Yep.
Cool. Haven wrote, "This episode is truly a classic. Last year we got Kobayashi as a major throwback to the classic Star Trek series of TOS through DS9. Oh yeah. I hope
Yeah.
this is a tradition that Aaron and his team will continue. Once again, Nami gave us the best musical score. Overall, a perfect show. I won't be here tonight. Lies! To present my rating during
We
the
saw
show.
them.
So I'm going to give my rating now 9.5 out of 5. Where's the 0.5? Why?
Yeah.
Where?
Where's the
Haven.
0.5 Haven? Let us know. Wayner, before you go, Hawk, gave it a 9 just because of the Murf cliffhanger. Now I have to wait a week. Yeah, that's fair.
Imagine if it's not even next week that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Oh no! Why would you say such a thing?
Oh, Hawk, go ahead.
It's from Jesco. Wrote, "What a fantastic episode. It was funny yet powerful. I love the Starfleet play and overacted impressions of TOS crew, but most of all, I liked the message. The speech the local doctor gave to Dahl about believing in the ideals was perfectly in the spirit of Trek, and it was so sweet to see the Enterpriseians beamed into a classic bridge. Of course, it's worrying to see what's happening with the Diviner, but I'm hopeful the truth will come to light."
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot about him.
I made a decision not to talk about it because it was like the first minute
There was
and a half
nothing
of the episode.
happening.
There really
Yeah.
wasn't much to it.
Yeah.
Lastly, I am so glad they gave Pog some character and something to do, even if it was just for the last few minutes. 9 out of 10, a great feel-good romp.
Where's the one? Where's the one?
We want to know. We want to
know where the 1 point
Do you
is.
give 9 because you don't want to give 10? because
Some
you're
people are
holding the
never
10?
comfortable giving a perfect score, which I understand.
No.
Take us home, Giraffe, with MCs, please.
MC wrote, "Yeah, I finally watched Prodigy." Okay, so parenthesis. I've been bugging MC to finish Prodigy, and it was kind of like she had like to write essays, and the goal was like if the essay was written, like there was some Prodigy behind. So anyway, MC has watched Prodigy. Yay. I finally watched Prodigy. It will probably come as no shock to you guys that I absolutely love it. This was the first episode I got to watch day off, and wow, good one to come in on. Trek has been threatening to do this concept since the 30th anniversary with the planet from A Piece of the Action, but I think this execution was flawless. Loved how it had just a hint of Galaxy Quest in it. One of my favorites, and will be one of my list of episodes.
I think on my list.
On my list of episodes, thank you. On my list of episodes that will guarantee to cheer me up.
100%.
Nice.
True.
Yeah, 100%. Agree. I think that's going to do it for this one, folks. This was such a good episode of Prodigy. Like,
Incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, this show rarely puts out a bad episode so far, and we're still in season 1.
I don't remember the last bad episode they did.
Yeah.
To be honest.
No,
I don't think they had any. Not to my.
Not that I can remember either.
I'd have to go back and listen to our reviews.
I liked every single episode of Prodigy, I think.
Yeah.
And
we'll just keep going. We'll have another live episode next week, reviewing episode 114. We'll be back with that. But for now, I'm going to say for Hawk, for Eric, for Giraffe, live long and prosper.
Live
Maj
long
Ram. And
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.